Welcome, Joshua. We're very glad to have you here.
Thank you. I'm very happy to be here.
What year were you born?
2010.
Do you know anyone else who's born the same year as you? Famous wise.
Famous wise. No, I don't think so.
What inspired you to pursue? What inspired you to pursue a football career?
I think it would be my dad,
Mm.
because from a young age, he saw like that I had potential to be like where I am now, and
Mm.
if I developed, I'd become better and better.
Mm. And where are you playing at now?
I am playing at Brighton Academy at under 15s level.
Mm. And how old are you?
I'm 14 years old.
Mm. Can you tell us a memorable challenge you had to face as a footballer and how you overcame it?
A memorable challenge. I think it was last season or two. I was at Arsenal development, and we would train once a week, and we did that for a period of 6 weeks. And after that 6 weeks, they would tell us the feedback and if we was able to get a trial. And unfortunately, I wasn't able to get a trial, so it's quite frustrated and a bit like disappointed. So I
Mm.
would say that would be it. Yeah.
Mm. Did you ever, after they told you the feedback, did you feel discouraged, or did you have a positive attitude and think if they think I'm not at the level now, then I need to work harder to be at the level they think?
Yeah. After that, my dad pushed me harder and harder to be better and play well during games. And then, yeah, Brian picked me up last season.
Mm. And was there ever a point in your life where your dad was like, "You can do this"? Did you ever believe him when he said that, or were you like, "Nah, that won't happen. I won't be in that academy."
Um, yeah, I did believe it because my dad's he's a very hardworking man, and I believe him. I believe in what he says a lot.
Mm. How do you stay motivated and continue to innovate in your game, even at like the worst stages?
Yeah, I was at the start of the season. I started like very well, and then I was playing all like the good cup games, the really important cup games, and then a couple games my game started going down. So for that reason, when it was going down, I didn't play cup games anymore, and the other players played the cup games because they was playing better than me at that time. And then there's this coach that like helps you and wants to make you improve. And I told him because he wants me to become a better, become a better footballer. Sorry, and he would just like talk to me and ask why my confidence was low and what he can do to make me become better. And he was speaking to me for 2 3 weeks, I'd say, and he was just he was just telling me to be myself, always be positive, and just
Mm.
have confidence in yourself. And then now I'm starting to play cup games.
Mm. And why was your confidence low?
Um, I think it all started because I was playing well, and then a couple of games after I was making mistakes that I wouldn't normally do, and some mistakes led to goals, some mistakes led to attacks, and that just like made my confidence down. Like even normal passes, I couldn't even make them back then because my confidence was so low.
Mm. Wow. What is your biggest accolade?
Accolade. What do you mean by that? Sorry.
Like, what's your biggest achievement? Like,
Oh, biggest achievement. I
yeah,
would say getting signed really because I was on trial for 8 weeks.
8 weeks.
After the 8 weeks, they said I was doing well, but I could do better in some like points of my game. So they extended it for another 4 weeks, and then after that period of 4 weeks, I got signed. So I would say that's my biggest achievement, getting signed for Brian.
And how did it feel, the waiting? them they're after training for was it 8 weeks, and they said, was part of your games that weren't good enough, and they added another 4 weeks on. How did it feel?
Yeah. When they told me that, if I was like, hmm, I felt I could have got signed at that time, but everyone's got different opinions, and from a Premier League club, I decided to take that on board. And during the extended 4 weeks, I played better and done all the things they wanted me to do that they pointed out.
And was there any like where was there feedback like in a negative way, like positive way you can get better and you are getting better, or was it just straight at you, you're not getting better, and that's probably why we're adding another 4 weeks on?
Um, yeah, some of it was positive. Some feedback was stuff I would have to add onto my game because sometimes if I lost the ball, like I wouldn't react and win it back in an instant. Like
Mm,
sometimes I would just jog, even though you should be sprinting when you've lost the
yeah.
ball. So like they said, I should just have that desire to go and win the ball back after I lose it, and
Mm,
then I started doing that. And they really liked it, and yeah.
yeah. What they were telling you that you needed to improve, did you already know you needed to improve it, or were they like giving you all these new things that you needed to compromise?
Oh yeah. Some was new, and some like I already knew some because my dad told me some feedback himself that he wants me to improve on.
Mm,
And half of the stuff he said, the coach has said as well, which was like I was quite surprised because yeah, yeah.
mm. How do you prepare for a game, a
Well,
match?
yeah, for matches. Well, obviously I get good sleep. Um, go to bed around 10, and then not 10, sorry, 9. And in the mornings, um, I drink a lot of water
Mm,
so you don't get like because you can get like cramps and a calf cramp
yeah,
during games. So
yeah,
drinking water can easily like prevent that. So I
yeah.
drink a lot of water before games, and
Mm,
sometimes I listen to music because that
yeah.
gets me in the mood to play. Like
Mm,
just boost my my ego, my confidence.
yes. And were there any, do you ever stretch before a match? Are there any specific things that you do other than drinking water and listening to music?
Yeah, sometimes a day before a game, I kind of like do stretches, just like stretch my body, my arms, my legs,
Mm,
just so I don't get any injuries on the pitch.
mm. And is this your go-to routine? Or is there any, like, if you had a different game, like maybe just not a cup game or a different game,
Yeah.
would you do a different routine? Or is this always going to be your go-to routine for every match?
Um. Yeah, I think it would just be my go-to routine because it's just been working. Really, I've been playing well.
Hmm. Hmm. Can you, and how has your routine evolved over the years of playing? Has it evolved in any kind of way? Like, were you not drinking water before, but are you now drinking water?
Yeah. Couple seasons, maybe like last season before I got signed. Like I didn't do all this stuff, and
Mm,
sometimes I would pick up injuries.
yeah.
I would pick up last season. I would always pick up cramps during games because I would be doing like a lot of running because last season
Mm,
I'll be playing in midfield and it's
mm,
like back and forward running. It's a lot of energy required.
yeah. And when you were getting these cramps, did you know why? Did you know that you had to do these things, or was it just the shock to you, like, why am I getting cramps? Why am I, why? Or is it just,
Yeah. The coaches would say like it's a lactic acid cramp or something. That lactic acid building your calf, and they would say like stretches and drinking lots of water would prevent that.
yes. And when they first told you this, did you do it immediately, or were you like, oh, well, the match is about to go on. Maybe I'll just leave it, or maybe an hour or so. Or did you just go at it immediately and saying, if the coaches are making me drink water, I'm going to drink water and I'm going to get rid of these cramps?
Oh yeah, good question. Yeah, I would always take the coach's advice on board because they always want to see me improve and become a better player.
Mm. Yes. How do you balance your personal life with your professional commitments, as in, for instance, just hanging with your friends after school
Yeah,
and between your training, your hard work training with your coaches, your dad, all that stuff?
yeah. So because I'm at Brighton, I go to school 3 times a week, and the 2 days I'm not in school, I do like education there and training also. But
Mm-hmm.
I would normally spend time with my friend on Saturdays because
Mm.
my parents don't really like me going out on school days because
Mm.
they said I should be studying, which is the right thing to do.
Yeah.
But Saturdays, normally go out to a pitch, just have some fun, or
Mm.
just go like to a local area near me and just hang out.
Mm. Yes. What advice would you give someone just starting as a footballer who's thinking, how am I going to get to these stages? How am I going to be like you, for instance? How am I going to pass these tryouts? How? What
Yeah,
advice
like
would you give?
yeah, maybe yeah. Someone's asking for advice. I would say watch players on YouTube. Watch players that like play in your position, like the
Mm.
position you play. Watch like all the professional footballers that are good in that position, and um, yeah, just do that, and also have confidence in yourself. Like have confidence in your ability, and yeah.
And what if there was a person who hadn't have confidence in himself and did watch these people, but when he couldn't do it, he got really down on himself or her and he wasn't thinking positive and he would ask you, we go to you for advice, what would you give them back?
Yeah, I would say like just don't give up really, like just do all you have, do the most, like just keep pushing and just never give up.
Mm. And what project are you working like? What training skills are you working on like right now? And what do you hope to achieve with this training that you were doing?
Um like a certain objective I'm trying to do.
Yeah, like for instance, there was a skill that you're desperate to do and you're trying to learn it currently, and what you would hope to achieve with that skill if you played it in a match.
Oh yeah. Um yeah, I don't normally do skills, but what I am trying to improve on is my weak foot, my left foot.
Yeah.
Because in academy, some are both footed and some of the weak foot are like pretty good. And when I first joined, I barely had a weak foot. Like I couldn't really play on it. Like
Mm.
it wasn't the best. That was last season, but now I'd say it's better. Like I can pass with it, shoot, and I can cross with it. So I'd say yeah, my weaker foot.
Yeah. And personally asking you this question. When the people like people in your club, like your team, your teammates, were they like, oh, were they doubting you because you couldn't play well with your weak foot? Were they like, well, he can't play well with his weak foot, so how is he going to be able to play in us that position?
Um, yeah, no, I always thought like they were believing me because in games I would normally try passing them to my weak with my weak foot because they're on that side of the pitch.
Mm.
And if it didn't go well, if it got intercepted, they'll be like, oh, it's all right, just good try. At least you attempted it. And yeah,
Yeah. So your teammates are supportive? What is that
yeah,
what I said? Yeah.
supportive, yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, what do you consider the most essential qualities for success as a footballer?
Um, sorry, qualities. Maybe like yeah, just good on the ball, like good technically, because that's what like scouts look out recently. I know they've been looking at for a long time.
Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt you there, but just to make the question a bit clearer, essential qualities, you have two ways of saying this. You can say essential qualities is in the stuff that you would need to prep for a match, what stuff you need before a match, what stuff you need while you're playing in the match, or your essential qualities is personal, like family. So there's two ways of saying it. You can describe it each way, but yeah, just explain it to you. Yeah. How do you handle criticism or negative feedback?
Um, Yeah, I used to get type of feedbacks for. I would just say again, just take it on board, and then once you've taken it on board, they'll just like the scouts will like coaches, sorry, they will like say, "Well done, you're doing what we said,"
Mm,
and yeah, they would like to see that in your game.
mm. And was there ever criticism that you got that you thought, why are they giving me criticism? They should be giving the other person criticism. Or was there ever like negative feedback that you got that you thought, well, I should be getting this negative feedback because I've been working my socks off on this, and they should be happy that I've been doing that. Have you ever been frustrated about the feedback that you've got before?
Yeah, I would say maybe at the end of last season, like I'll be getting negative feedback, and the other players would be doing the same thing, and the coaches won't be would only be talking to me.
Mm.
So yeah, that's happened before. Yeah.
And what were you thinking? What was going through your mind when they were like, well, you weren't doing this right? Were you going like, well, they weren't doing that right either, so why aren't you pointing it out? Or you like, yeah, well, maybe I wasn't doing that right. Maybe I should move on. Maybe I should practice it more. And then they'll be pointing at those guys next, and they'll be thinking about me. They're using me as an example, for instance.
Yeah, I would just listen to them, and then when they do see me doing what they've talked about, they would see the other players, and they would be like to me like I'm doing it right, and the other players aren't.
Mm. So they use you as an example. You were trying to say
Yeah.
like they're using example. Yes. Okay. Can you tell us a mistake you have made as a footballer and what you learned from it?
Um. Maybe. Yeah. At the start of the season, when I wasn't like playing cup matches,
Mm,
I would also like. I was always like thinking in my head like, oh, I'll try not to make a mistake this game, and then I would eventually make a mistake
yeah,
because I'm thinking too like negative about myself
yeah,
and how I play. So that like forced me into making mistakes.
yeah.
But now I try not to be. I try leave all the negative thoughts away and
Mm,
just be positive about how I play and how I know I can play.
yeah. And did you tell yourself this, that you need to stop giving you these negative thoughts because then you're going to make a mistake in your game? Or did someone come across you and say, well, if you're thinking this, Josh, it's going to happen, isn't it? So you need
Yeah.
to start thinking positive. Or did you just aim it at yourself?
Oh no, one of the Brian coaches told me about it because every couple months or so you get a review on how you think you played,
Yeah.
and the coaches will talk to you about what they think is going on. And yeah, one of the coaches told me that they think I'm like I'm thinking bad stuff about how I play and
Mm,
bring all the negative thoughts.
mm,
And he would always say like try think of the positive stuff you can do in the game and try
mm.
not to think negatively.
Yeah. What role has mentorship played in your career, and who has been a particular influential mentor as coach, family, or like someone that sees you playing and be like you're doing well?
Um, I think my dad. Every time I have a good game, he always tell me, like, "Son, you played well." And if I didn't have a good game, he would always tell me like what I could do better and give me good feedback for me to take on for the next game.
Mm. And for instance, if he told you this, well, if he told you like, well, he told you like, well, that wasn't very good in the game. Maybe you can change that, and make it better. Would you take that on board, or would you like take it off? Or for instance, would he say something good about you? Would you believe it? Either way, just take it.
Oh yeah, yeah, I'll believe it, and all the stuff he says, I'll just listen to him, because he's the one seeing the game, so he can see like what I
Mm,
do bad and
mm.
what I do decent, and what I do well. So yeah, I'll just listen to him.
Listen to him. Yes. What do you like to do in your spare time, like a hobby other than homework, training, hanging out with your friends, hanging out with your family? Other than that, like another hobby like you like to do other than concentrating all of your time on football.
Yeah, I'll say normally when I have spare time, I'll just like yeah, I would normally play with my Xbox, just play games,
Hmm.
when I have the spare time. Sometimes hang out with my sisters as well,
Yeah.
or just go out on walks.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
And what would these things calm you? Would they like make you feel like would they give you like a breath that you can just take like a sign, or would they basically make you pump you up for things that happen this day?
Um, yeah, I would say it's quite like peaceful, like because it's not always about sports, you know. You can have like another life you do,
Hmm.
other things you can do in your life, and yeah,
Yeah. I'm this question I'm going back to when you were talking about how they added on another 4 weeks and like the
yeah.
feedback you were getting from the coaches and the people they were doing tryouts for. How would you do with pressure and expectations of the coaches and like your dad or like your teammates saying, "Come on, you got this, Josh, you got to score this goal," and you miss it? How would the pressure build up on you? Would it explode? Would it burst out, or would you keep it bottled in? You know? How would you
Yeah.
deal with it?
Um, I would just like take deep breaths because normally, if it's like a big game, I would like feel a bit anxious, a bit nervous,
Mm,
and sometimes the coaches would be like, "Come on, Josh, you got this," and like give it all you have and all that stuff, and yeah, just be positive.
mm. And were there points where you were being positive, but you still like made the mistake? And were you getting in your head and everything? Were there were moments like that?
Yeah, there were some moments that yeah, but sometimes it was a little less. It was a little less than before, so it
Mm.
was a
Yeah,
bit of an improvement, and then yeah.
yeah. Can you describe a moment when you felt you'd made a real difference in the world as a footballer, as just playing football, as just someone, as just some kid walking around by the street with his mum saying, "Look, he's a footballer. I want to be a footballer when I grow up." Has there ever been that moment in your head you've been like, "Wow, I've made a difference. I've made someone want to do this sport when they grow up."
Um, um, yeah, I'd say so. Yeah, sometimes kids come across and like tell me they want to be a footballer, and yeah,
And would you think immediately that you've done that? Or would you be like, oh, they're playing my sport. Well, maybe I can help them through that and give them some sort of advice that maybe might help them through the journey that I'm going through currently and make it easier than it was for me, you know?
yeah. Some people have asked for advice before in the past, especially like when I got signed, because a lot of people found out because it was on like
Massive
well,
thing.
yeah, it was a massive thing. So it was on a lot of people's stories, and they will come back to me and be like, how did you do this? Like from where you are today, can you tell me some advice you took on? Yeah, I would just tell them, and they'll be like, oh, thanks. Yeah.
Hmm. Wow. How, well, this is a question that I'd like to ask really. How would you celebrate with your score? What would be your celebration?
If I scored,
Yeah, if you scored like a massive goal in the cup, would you go out?
oh
What would your celebration be like?
yeah, to be honest, I would just like run to the corner flag and just do a knee slide.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, them ones are nice.
Hmm.
And if there's a little photographer, just get a cheeky
Yeah.
celebration in.
Yeah. How would you stay up to date? How would you stay up to date with the latest skills or tricks? And I'll ask this question after you answer, but how do you stay up? For instance, do you go on your phone, look them up? What do you do?
Yeah, cause yeah, on TikTok, if you have it, there is a lot of like latest skills. Sometimes I look at them and just try to do the skill.
Yeah. And would you see this going, oh my God, I want to try this. Would you show it to someone? Would you go outside in your garden, for instance, or go up to the park, a local park or something, and try to practice it? Or would you like show someone, like your dad, for instance, and be like, hey, I want to practice this skill. Can you come help me? Or would you do it on your own?
Yeah, I would normally do it in my own in my garden since I've been doing that before a few times.
Mm.
Yeah, and just practice the skill till I've like mastered it really.
Hmm. What would be your dream team to play in and your favorite player to play alongside? For instance, Jude Bellingham or Real Madrid.
Um, Maybe I would say Chelsea as it's my favorite club and I support the team. I would love to play for Chelsea,
Yeah.
but mm, to play alongside, I know that'll never happen. But I would love to play alongside Neymar Jr. But
Mm.
he
Mm.
is a bit like he's getting old. He might
Yeah.
retire soon, you know. Yeah,
Mm. This- Now, name all your great all-time greatest best 11.
all time.
Yeah, all time greatest.
Um, yeah. Van der Sar,
Hmm.
goalkeeper.
Yeah.
Centre backs. Hmm. Maldini
Hmm.
and mhm. Oh yeah, Sergio Ramos.
Yeah.
Right back. Um, hmm. No, left back. Roberto Carlos in the middle.
Mm.
Iniesta, Xavi.
Hmm.
Um, Left wing Ronaldo. Up top.
Hmm.
Hmm. Up top Suarez and right wing Messi.
Mm. Can you describe a moment when you had to make a tough decision as a footballer and how you approached it? For instance, if there was a tough decision between hanging out with your friends and a really important practice that you had to do, or like a really important like study meeting you'd have a really important like study, you have to really study for a very important exam, or a really important training session that you had with the top coaches, for instance.
Um, Wait, could you repeat that? Sorry,
Yeah.
that the first bit.
Can you describe a moment where you had to make a tough decision as a footballer and how you approached it?
Um, Maybe before I got signed, I would spend a lot of time with my friends.
Mm.
Um, when I got signed, they'll say like, you'll be playing with us about four or five times a week, so you might not have time to spend with your friends as much as you'd like.
Mm.
Because I would spend a lot of time with my friends, like just go out weekly, just have some fun.
Mm.
So yeah.
How did you react to them telling you like first of all, how did you react to them telling them that for them telling you that like you won't be able to spend like half of your time now out with your friends? And how did your friends react when you told them you're in the academy and also that well, because I'm in the academy now, I might not be able to spend as much time with you. I hope you're not like mad at me or something like disappointed, you know?
Yeah,
Did they chill with it?
yeah. They was quite happy that I got signed, mostly all of them. And when I
Mm.
told them that I'll be there and I won't be in school as much, um, they was pretty like they was alright with it. They was chill, but like they did say like they would like
Mm.
miss me a bit.
Yeah. Yeah. Now, name one item like in any way, say it like family or football wise,
Yeah.
one item you cannot live without. Like if your life depended, you cannot live without.
Hmm. Yeah, maybe my family. Yeah,
Mm.
because they are quite positive and they've always been with me. So I would say that.
Now, if you ever do become a professional football player, which hopefully you will,
Yeah.
what do you hope your legacy will be?
Um. Yeah. Yeah. Maybe to become the greatest player, like one of the best players
Mm.
to have ever played football.
Top.
That's yeah. That's what I want. That's what I'm hoping for.
Is there anything else you would like to share with us that we have maybe not covered or maybe not talked about or finito?
Um. Yeah. I think it's been good. I think the questions have been good. Yeah.
Okay. Thank you so much for this interview. I will forever be grateful.
That's all right, Gloria. Thank you.